Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for being on, and I'm super excited to share with you today. So come and share where you're from and what you're excited about. I'm super excited again to be with you. And again, Gregory here from Ohio. We've got lots of hundreds of people flooding in here. William from Colorado. You're about to learn some things that are going to have a huge life-changing impact for you. And Mo, thank you for joining us. Lejon from Maui, lots of wonderful people. Colleen from MN, help me here. I'm an American citizen, but sometimes I miss the States. Flint, Robert from Michigan, and Joe from Minnesota. Ruth, Deborah from Virginia, awesome. Yes, Carlotta from Florida. Yes, there will be a replay, no problems, but live is always the best. So join us, and thank you for being on. Stay on live because it's so exciting just to kind of have that energy. There's also some exclusive things I'll be releasing just for the people that are live here as well. So lots of reasons to join us. As we get started, some of the things I'm going to share with you are, so I'm going to kind of dive in when it comes to looking at health and healing. So why is health and healing so important to me? Well, firstly, so Jonathan Otto, for those that don't know who I am, most people here are very aware because you guys have been following me for a while. Other people, in case you're new, so I'm an investigative journalist. My specialty is in the medical side of journalism. I've been in this field for well over a decade, and I'm grateful to have been a part of some of the most cutting edge and revolutionary changes that have been happening in holistic health. So we've kind of been continually on the leading edge of things. Ever since about 10 years ago when I was working on The Truth About Cancer as a producer, everything accelerated. Everything was exponential when it came to finding solutions for people that were actually working and giving people actually hope when it came to chronic diseases like cancer. These are things that are typically life sentences for people and death sentences, and they don't really have a way out of it. And so when it came to finding solutions with The Truth About Cancer, we provided so many solutions, and that was now like 10 years ago. And so what I continue to do in my area was to continue in this field of research and to continue giving the most cutting edge tools and protocols. And so there are countless people, like thousands upon thousands of people that have reported all kinds of life-changing conditions being put in remission as a result of the knowledge, the information that you're about to learn. And when we dial into something that is so cutting edge, like cold plunge, and using temperature to heal our bodies, it's something that for a lot of people it would sound shocking. How could something so simple be so effective? How could something that it's something that we've all been cold in our life. We've all been in cold water at one point in our life. Often it's the thing that we like hot water, hot showers and things like this. But the therapeutic element of cold plunge is something that we have found so much research to validate and back up, because with the power of our ability to use temperature, to be able to use therapies that harness our body's innate system of how it self-heals, how we have the tools and answers within our body, it's just like a key and activation that we're often needing. And without that, people are suffering, staying still, staying stuck. And then when we get that key that unlocks that innate healing ability, then all of a sudden things start working, things start flowing, things start working the way they were supposed to. And we activate the God-given healing that we were designed to be able to activate. So it's through these therapies that my life has been changed. My wife, Lori, we have two beautiful boys, a 5 and a 3-year-old, Asher and Arthur, and you'll see some pictures of them shortly. They are a big part of my reason and motivation. I've been doing this work a long time before they came into the world, but what they did was they made everything real. And you realize how much you want to stay around. My life has never been more valuable to myself than when I had children. Who can relate to that? Who can relate to the the fact that you knew that your life was important, you wanted to stay on top of your health, but then when somebody else came into your life that was very important to you, it might be a partner, it might be a spouse, it might be the deepening relationship with your parents, it might be your own child. These are the things that to me were revolutionary to unlock my own desire to really be on top of my health and to use all the therapies available to me, to do things that were in some cases slightly uncomfortable for a moment, but then they unlock so many other benefits, so many things that were out of reach, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for flooding in and joining me from all different parts of the world. You guys are important and special people that have lives, that have families, that have important people in your life that you either want to get help for. Some of you guys are getting this information for others, and many of you, or perhaps the majority, are looking at therapies that they need for themselves, for your own body. And this is where a lot of the excitement is, because the more we can do for ourselves, the more we're able to do for others. When we take care of our health, I was just looking at the comments there. So there's a beautiful message there. But when we take care of our health, the result is that it has a ripple effect in the lives of others that is so important. And so check out this. We're going to dive into this amazing cold plunge webinar. So I'm Jonathan Otto. I'm your host, and thank you for sharing with us where you're from. And I'm excited to be able to explore the benefits of cold plunging for combating symptoms of chronic disease, aging, and the toxins that are in this world. And we're so excited to have you join us. Please, again, share with us why you're here in the chat. What are you trying to work on? Just drop it in the chat. It's really cool to engage like this. What are you working on? Whose health are you trying to unlock? Is it your health? Is it the health of a loved one? We're here for you. We want to see you achieve these goals. Prepare to dive into the science, techniques, and transformative power of cold plunge therapy. And so I've used my research and practical expertise to train world-renowned medical specialists and clinics around the world. So I've been in both sides of this. I've been trained and had some of the best medical supervision and mentorship. And then I've been able to offer my expertise and my experience in these fields to be able to help a lot of these world-leading clinics around the world, cancer clinics, to up-level what they're doing and to be able to get to the root of what's going on, to use science to unlock the health and healing potential of their clients. And so I'm excited to be sharing this information here in this webinar that you've been able to register for free to enjoy and appreciate this information that could have a life impacting result for you. And so my credentials, so my background. So I graduated from a university called the University of Newcastle in Australia with a bachelor's degree with a double major in journalism and media production. And I graduated from the University of New England with a postgraduate degree in education. And so I took all of my ability to connect dots. Some of my deep study in the Bible, for example, was the ability to cross-reference and to connect dots and to be able to make sense of things and to be able to memorize things. Like I started memorizing scripture since I was about 19 years old, from a child, but I started to be able to memorize entire chapters of the Bible as I studied this very deeply about 20 years ago at age 19. And I was then able to unlock different things like reference meanings, unlock secrets. It really was that powerful for me. And I bring that up because sometimes when I'm talking with leading experts, I was just with, for example, one of the world leading experts in chronic disease, inflammation, specifically autoimmune disease, thyroid disease, etc. I was sharing with him different therapies and different mutual friends and how to help them. And there was a case of pancreatic cancer that we were both in touch with, and I was sharing with him the therapies that are most effective in this scenario. And I think sometimes when these conversations come up, and I'm working with all these trained medical doctors, is that they wonder, how do you understand these things? And to me, it's really connected to faith. It's connected to the ability to be able to cross-reference and understand things and memorize data, and then to be able to apply meaning to that and to make it real. And so a lot of that came through deep study of different texts, spiritual texts, especially the Bible, And then when I went through medical literature and was studying clinical studies, and my ability to then memorize this information, understand it, cross-reference it, and help people get results then was huge. So this is a disclaimer. I, Jonathan Otter, do not claim that any information shared with you will treat or cure any disease or symptoms. This webinar is purely based on my personal findings on cold plunge therapy, as well as published studies. Papers and articles on cold plunge therapy. Devices advertised in this webinar are not the same devices used in the following mentioned studies, and all the following videos and quotes are used under the fair use policy. Their content is included without any implication of endorsement by the products that are under discussion. Growing up, I struggled with many different chronic illnesses and horrific health challenges, but no one recognized the root causes. I had Ross River fever, Epstein-Barr cytomegalovirus, chronic boils breaking out through my body, extremely painful as a teenager, glandular fever, heavy metal toxicity, chronic fatigue syndrome, parasitic infection, brain fog, and chronic nausea. So my life was like spiraling down, and it was really sad because I had a lot of ambition. And I know a lot of you guys can relate to that. You've got a lot of ambition, a lot of dreams that they're locked up in your heart, and something is stopping that. Chronic conditions are stopping that from coming into fruition. So Lori, my wife, she suffered from many symptoms of disease. She had chronic pain, parasitic infection, mood disorder, depression, anxiety, PTSD, also ADHD. And the pain in her body would sometimes have her crying herself to sleep at night. And it was holistic medicine and disease reversal therapies that ultimately changed our lives. And so I'll share with you a little bit of Lori's story. And I know that some of you guys can relate to this. If some of you have seen this, I might skip through some sections here, but we've got a little minute here to get grounded. I want you to get grounded on what your experience is, what you're going through, and why that matters. Because unless we get to that point, we really are not centered on why we're doing what we're doing. So this is my bride, my significant other, somebody that's so important to me. And we struggled so much in our marriage due to health challenges, and that could have ruined us. It was easy to end it in divorce because we could not solve the problems that were in front of us. And it was holistic therapies like what I'm sharing with you today that unleashed the potential for us. And so I'm so grateful for that.
Throughout my childhood, with a lot of sadness, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, I would say. And my feelings were really big and intense. And I struggled in school because I was very slow. I seemed to be the last one for a lot of things, taking tests, tying my shoes, getting ready. I felt clumsy a lot of the time. And then at the same time, I also felt lazy. I remember just getting yelled at. It's like, why can't you just clean your room? And, normal kids have that. But I remember trying to clean my room or doing chores and just feeling like this heaviness in my body. Like it was so hard. I felt tired. And I would just really get mad at myself. I'm like, why am I so lazy? Why am I so stuck? And just feeling tired. I remember feeling tired and heavy, like my body literally felt heavy. And then around 13 years old, I remember 13 years old, it's funny, it's a lot of changes, adolescent years. And we were helping my dad clear out trash and cleaning the yard and the backyard. All of us were together, my mom, my dad, my siblings. And I remember all of a sudden feeling this dizziness, this nausea, and this rising. I felt my heart and my head all of a sudden going woo, woo, like pounding. Suddenly things got really bright and yellow, and I seriously felt like I was going to die. And I started like kind of breathing really hard, and I started telling mom or dad, I was like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. And right away, because I struggled with, oh, Lori, you're just lazy. You don't want to work. And I'm like, no, I feel like I'm going to faint and stuff. And then I start crying and I just started feeling dizzy. And I remember my mom grabbing me and I remember while she's splashing water in my face, cause I'm about to faint. I'm like, I'm going to die. And, I remember putting my feet up, and long story short with that, that was my first experience with having low blood sugar. Or them taking the heartbeats, or just basically things were pretty low. And all I wanted to do was be better. All I wanted to do was impact positively. And I just felt like I couldn't do that. And I felt like, at the same time, I felt like my husband, the person that was the closest to me, couldn't see me either in the midst of it. And I just wanted to tell people, I don't know, I just wanted to just like, I don't know what's going on. And I just get angry, just be angry and bitter and tired. I think the underlying feeling underneath was just tired. I was exhausted of fighting, and not feeling like I was getting anywhere forward. I wanted to follow my dreams and impact the world and be better at time management, be better at this.
So it's these things that really bring it back to the reality of what it's like to experience suffering and to go through challenges. And so whatever it is that you're going through, I want to tell you that I see you and I understand that struggle. I understand that journey. And so that's really the apex of what was behind the 16 different documentary series that we've released to the public, and the hundreds of doctors, who are actually well over 1,000 that we've interviewed. And the whole thrust was about solving these problems. So Brave, Depression, Anxiety, and Dementia Secrets, Autoimmune Secrets. We've had over 5 million people register. We've had millions of views. Some of the social media clips alone have got close to 10 million views each, because people are interested in this. Cancer Secrets, we had huge viewership there for our most recent documentary series. And we were sharing these cutting edge protocols. And all of this is so relevant because a lot of people aren't willing to tackle these hard subjects. And that's what we did. And so as well with our Undefeated challenge, an amazing challenge, helping people to solve some of these difficult challenges. And then the worldwide recognition that we've received has been amazing. To date, now it's 13 different film festivals we've won by sharing this cutting edge information. So the doctors and experts that are sharing with us here, some of them are in this series, and we've interviewed experts like what you're seeing here, and hundreds of amazing professionals to help crack the code. And we've cross-referenced information. We've got clinical data. And so it's really very powerful and cutting edge information. So one really cool thing here is stay until the end. Why? Well, we have a special surprise gift for the viewers who stay until the end. And one of our viewers will get 50% off one of our most sought after devices. So congratulations to the person in advance who that will be. It could be you. So make sure to stay to the end, because that you have to stay to the end to get that unlocked, and that may be you. And it doesn't end there. Okay. So stay until the end, and it doesn't matter who you are. You'll get this automatically when you stay till the end. You'll get free lifetime access to these incredible bonus masterclasses and ebook valued at over $1,200. So these masterclasses are very important. So Fast Track to Wellness, the 12-module masterclass, and The Art of Healing, which is a masterclass on autoimmune disease and anti-inflammatory natural remedies, and also our amazing tool here, which is cold plunge therapy, the scientific references behind the benefits. And this is all the evidence that backs what we're teaching and what we're explaining here. So please stand to the end of our live question and answer session. Get the opportunity to ask your questions. Listen as I deep dive further into the natural and therapeutic and regenerative benefits of cold plunge as I answer all your questions. So during this webinar, cold plunge therapy is our focus here. And you'll discover an introduction to cold plunge therapy, the health benefits of cold plunge. The cold plunge may combat symptoms of chronic disease, scientific evidence and studies, and how to integrate cold plunges into your routine. A sneak peek of the benefits of cold plunge therapy that will be unveiled: reduced inflammation, pain management, boosted metabolism, better quality sleep, cognitive benefits, enhanced muscle recovery, stress relief, and improved mental health, improved circulation, and enhanced immune function. The origins of cold plunge therapy. You guys ready for this? Okay, so cold plunge therapy, also known as water immersion or cryotherapy, has ancient roots and has been practiced for in various cultures and throughout history. The therapeutic use of cold water dates back thousands of years and can be traced to several key historical and cultural origins. Ancient Greece and Rome. Greeks and Romans incorporated cold water immersion into their bathing routines to promote health and well-being. In Nordic cultures, in Nordic countries, especially Finland, alternating between hot saunas and cold water plunges has been a long and traditional practice has been a long traditional practice. And then traditional Chinese medicine used cold therapies to balance the body's energy and improve health. Indigenous practices, various indigenous cultures have used cold water immersion for healing purposes, often combating or combining it with natural therapies in combination. And then cold plunge in modern revival has been used and gained renewed scientific benefit, or all the scientific research has really brought the world together to go deeper, and the recognition that this is received has been based on robust scientific data. And so you'll see that here with Dr. Henning Saupe, a renowned medical professional, an MD with a holistic cancer focus. He's going to share with you the benefits here. And these are doctors that are using this therapeutically for their most severe cancer patients and people wanting to prevent cancer. So it's very important. Check this out.
That would be mitochondrial therapy, cold plunge. And that uses the principle of hormesis. That's a technical word, a Greek word, to describe the mechanism behind a therapy like cold plunge. It means hormesis is to use a meaningful stimulus to get a good body response as the consequence of the stimulus. So the stimulus is a cold plunge. Wow. We cool down the body artificially. And what that does is it stimulates the production of new healthy mitochondria, and it stimulates the death of and the elimination of compromised aged mitochondria. The mitochondria have their own genes, they have their own cell cycle, they have their own life cycle. So what cold plunge does, as other biohacking strategies like PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic frequency therapy, or hydrogen therapies with hydrogenized water or the inhalation of hydrogen, is to stimulate a growth of new mitochondria and the elimination of used, aged, dysfunctional mitochondria. That is hormesis, meaningful stimulus.
As you can see there, the reason why top cancer doctors are using this is because it's tapping into important functions of the body. So cold plunge therapy stimulates vasoconstriction and vasodilation, mechanisms of vasoconstriction, cold exposure. When the body is immersed in cold water, the cold temperature stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, which triggers the contraction of smooth muscle cells in the walls of blood vessels. This leads to the narrowing of the blood vessels, which is vasoconstriction. Reduced blood flow. Vasoconstriction decreases the diameter of blood vessels, which reduces the volume of blood flowing through the peripheral areas like skin and extremities. This helps conserve core body temperature by redirecting blood flow to vital organs. Heat retention. By stimulating or by limiting blood flow to the skin and extremities, the body minimizes heat loss and maintains core temperature. This response is an adaptive mechanism to prevent hypothermia in cold environments. Summary. In cold plunge therapy, vasoconstriction helps reduce inflammation, swelling, and muscle soreness while conserving body heat. Following cold exposure, the body's natural warming process causes blood vessels to dilate, which further aids in recovery and improves circulation. The mechanism of vasodilation, increased blood flow. Vasodilation increases the diameter of blood vessels, allowing a greater volume of blood to flow through the previously constricted areas like the skin and muscles. This enhanced blood flow helps to restore normal circulation. Heat dissipation. As the body warms up, vasodilation helps dissipate the excess heat generated, promoting a stable internal temperature and aiding in the removal of metabolic waste products. Summary. In cold plunge therapy, vasodilation enhances blood flow, supports muscle recovery, improves circulation, and helps remove metabolic waste products. It plays a vital role in rebalancing the body's thermal state and promoting overall health and recovery. Enhance immune function. So here's the study, Health Effects of Voluntary Exposure to Cold Water, a continuing subject of debate. Ice bathing is often claimed to offer numerous health benefits, such as boosting the immune system, treating depression, enhancing circulation, increasing libido, burning calories, and reducing stress. The review found that some studies suggest that regular cold exposure might help treat chronic autoimmune inflammation, reduce high cholesterol by activating brown adipose tissue, and improve stress regulation. These studies suggest that regular cold exposure can be effective in treatment of chronic autoimmune inflammation, reduce hypercholesterolemia by brown adipose tissue activation, and have a positive effect on stress regulation. Here's the studies. So you'll find that we're referencing the studies. Every word is precise and specific according to what is proven and what is not proven. And that is why this is such a fascinating exploration, because we have science that is backing this up. So enhanced immune function continued. Study immune system of cold exposed and cold adapted humans. The objective of this study was to determine if a non-infectious stimulus such as cold water immersion can activate the human immune system and improve overall physiological status. After 6 weeks of repeated immersions, trends showed higher plasma levels of IL-6 and increased amounts of total T lymphocytes CD3, T helper cells CD4, T suppressor cells CD8, activated T and B lymphocytes HLA-DR, along with a decrease in alpha-1 antitrypsin. Conclusion. The study concluded that repeated cold water immersion, a stress-inducing non-infectious stimulus, highly activates the immune system by increasing metabolic rate and catecholamine levels due to shivering. And here's the study here. Here are the cardiovascular benefits. Study: could human cold adaptation decrease the risk of cardiovascular disease? The study compared 10 cold-adapted winter swimmers with 16 non-adapted controls to see how cold adaptation affects various health markers. The key findings were lipoprotein metabolism. The CA group had a lower ApoB and ApoA1 ratio, indicating improved lipoprotein balance. Homocysteine levels were lower in the CA group. Thyroid hormones, the CA group had higher levels of triiodothyronine, which is T3, but other thyroid hormones were similar between the groups. And then the antioxidant defense, the CA group had a lower GPX1 activity and reduced concentrations of oxidative stress markers, CD, but higher PON1 activity. Catalase activity tended to be lower, though not significantly. Zinc concentrations were higher in the CA group. And here are the studies here. And we know how important zinc is. So continued, in summary, cold adaptation was associated with better lipoprotein balance, lower homocysteine, and some changes in antioxidant and thyroid hormone levels. And the conclusion was overall cold adaptation appears to influence oxidative stress markers and may have a positive trend on cardiovascular risk factors in cold adapted individuals. Cardiovascular benefits continued. Study the effects of cold exposure, cold water immersion, whole and partial body cryostimulation on cardiovascular and cardiac autonomic control responses in healthy individuals, a systemic review, meta-analysis, and meta-regression. In the review, 24 articles were included. The findings revealed significant improvements in heart rate variability following the cold exposure, including increased RMSSD, RR intervals, and high-frequency HF components. Additionally, there was a notable decrease in low-frequency components and the LF-HF ratio, with these changes persisting for up to 15 minutes after exposure. Our meta-analysis suggests that cryostimulation and or CWI exposure enhance parasympathetic nervous activity. And here is the study referencing. And here is Dr. Darryl Joffrey to explain this mechanism. And he's a physician working specifically with patients with all kinds of chronic issues, autoimmune, cancer, etc.
The cold plunge is amazing because, again, it stimulates your detox pathways, helps your mitochondria, helps reset your microbiome, improves your brown adipose tissue. So it's actually improving the fat in your body. So those are some typical morning biohacking things that I like to do. Cold plunging is very powerful. So I'll ideally do my workout, and And then what I'll do is I'll do the cold plunge. Now, if I don't have a cold plunge, what I'll do is I'll do a cold shower. Not quite as effective.
Yeah. So there's a difference. And you'll see this as we go into the presentation. You'll find of why certain levels activate certain processes in the body and why certain temperatures are therapeutic to help with various functions of the body positively, and how they work to combat negative problems, symptoms, diseases, etc. Weight management. Study 2 key temporally distinguishable molecular and cellular components of white adipose tissue browning during cold acclimation. Converting white adipose tissue into brown adipose tissue